Okay, I think this is the last video for this section. Now you have to know all the stuff from before in order to do this video, to do the stuff in this video. So if you don't have that stuff down, go back, get all that stuff down really well before doing this. And then this will seem fairly easy. So this is absolute value inequalities. We did absolute value equations in a previous section. So now we're doing inequalities. So absolute value of stuff less than other stuff. This splits into two inequalities, which shouldn't surprise you because when we had equals, it split into two equations. Okay, so solve each and then intersect the results. So you get two inequalities, you solve both of them, and then you intersect the results. And it's the same if this was less than or equal to. So the absolute value stuff less than or equal to the other stuff, you intersect the results. In other words, it's an and. So here's an example. Absolute value of x minus 3 is less than 5, right? It's already in standard form. So I can split it. X minus 3 less than 5. So what did I do? Same thing as with equations, right? You just drop the absolute values. The other side, though, remember with equations, you would have equal negative 5. The other side, what you want to do is you take, instead of just taking the opposite of this 5 or any other terms, you also do the opposite of the inequality. So the second one will be greater than negative 5. So everything outside the absolute value you get opposite of. So it shouldn't be that hard, right? Change signs on both of those. See how that works? And why do I know it's intersection? Because stuff less than other stuff is intersection. I'll show you when you do union after I do this. So I added 3 to both sides on both of them. And I got x less than 8 and x greater than negative 2. So I graph x less than 8, x greater than negative 2. And it's and, which means it's intersecting, so I need everything between negative 2 and 8. Not counting negative 2 and 8. So it looks like that. Okay, so check like you did in the previous page. So check the endpoints, negative 2 and 8 should be equal 5. If you check something between negative 2 and 8, like 0, you get absolute value negative 3 less than 5. That's true. Check something over here, like negative 4, get negative 7. Absolute value is 7. 7 less than 5, no. Check something over here like 9. 9 minus 3 is 6. Absolute value is 6 less than 5. No. So you know you got it right. Now this is the other one. Absolute value stuff greater than the other stuff. The inequalities go in the opposite direction, see? The absolute value less than the other stuff. The absolute value greater than the other stuff. These are or problems, these are and problems. You intersect when you get down here. These are or problems. You'll get two inequalities and you'll union them. So it's very important to know the difference between these two and not forget. Splits into two inequalities, just like before. You solve each, and then you take the union of the results. Okay. And of course the same for greater than or equal to. So here's an example. 2 times the absolute value of 5 minus x is greater than or equal to 6. I want to put it in standard form first, so I divided the 2 out. Split it into two inequalities. So the first one, I just dropped the absolute values. I get 5 minus x greater than or equal to 3. The second one, I'll get 5 minus x on the left, same thing. And then I'll change the sign of the inequality and change the sign of the 3. And it's going to be or, which I usually write there, to union. Right? And then I solve each one separately. And I did this the way I told you that I tend to do it. I put this negative x on the right to make it positive, and I put the 3 on the left, subtracted it, and made it 2, and I'm done. X less than or equal to 2. And then here I'm going to do the same thing. Show you different numbers. So you x greater than or equal to 8. And it's or, union, so now I graph both of them. Graph them. Even if it doesn't say graph them, graph them. X less than or equal to 2 is there. X greater than or equal to 8. Now, I didn't have to write them above and below because they didn't intersect, so they don't get all jumbled up. Then I union them, which means I take both of them together, which means I get 2 intervals. Negative infinity to 2, union 8 to infinity, with the 2 and the 8 getting square brackets, and both infinities getting parentheses. And that's the answer. Sometimes you can, when you union these, you can get all real numbers, like if these two overlapped. And sometimes, like if we were to intersect these two, we would get the empty set. Anyway, that's the end of that section. I hope that helps.